Those are some awesome tricks you're doing. What the fuck? Skate is an interesting game to talk about. It's interesting as a longtime fan of the franchise. It's interesting as somebody who doesn't skate himself, but has been a longtime fan of the culture. And it's interesting because I have been constantly flip-flopping between genuine enjoyment and active annoyance. Because as we'll talk more about later, Skate is tedious, buggy, greedy, with limited mission variety, cringy dialogue, and unfinished graphics. And I think that it's a rare case of a game whose worst aspects are actually worsened specifically by the genre in which it inhabits. However, the core of the game is really fun. I hope that EA and Full Circle take the time to address all of the issues that are present in this game, because underneath all of the crap that I am going to list out, it feels so good to play this game. I keep itching to get back into this game and mess around with friends and strangers, and I can see myself continuing to play this game after I post this review, but only if those issues get resolved. Skate truly has the potential to be great, and as I ride around Vansterdam, I can see glimmers of its potential, but there is just far too much holding it back from being what this game deserves to be. So let's talk about Skate. The good, the bad, and the grind. I'll try to keep away from comparisons to previous Skate games, but here, I think it's important. I remember in the earlier Skate game intros, we were met with these very silly live-action cutscenes starring all of the skaters that would be in the game. And I think that these introductory cutscenes were very important for three major reasons. For people who are already into skating, it feels really cool to be able to skate alongside or even as some of your favorite skaters. And for those who aren't into skating already, following the people in these cutscenes can act as a sort of Rosetta Stone for getting into the sport. That's what I did when I was a kid. I didn't know the first thing about skating, so I just watched videos with parts from the in-game skaters. That's how I learned about Barbee and how he invented my favorite in-game move, the no comply, and then that got me into learning about freestyle skating. It was a very simple way for getting non-skaters like me into the culture. But most importantly, I think that it helped to legitimize the Skate franchise. It made it feel like these games got the seal of approval from some of the most influential skaters around. So, how does Skate start here? And what skaters are they going to showcase this time around? Zion Wright? Breana Geering? Andy Anderson? Let's find out.
The skateboard is 7-ply maple, glued and pressed for durability. It is equipped with a T-shaped undercarriage, which allows for pivoting and turning. The combination of these elements create a vehicle of infinite possibility.
Oh, hi there. My name is V. I am an app designed to be your virtual guide.
Who the fuck fuck is this? This intro really bummed me out. I mean, it's just so hollow, devoid of charm, and having this app serving as your companion for the rest of the game is just... it's so lame. And the soullessness of this guide is only compounded when you combine it with all of the in-game dialogue. The best way to describe the in-game dialogue is, you know, in those crime dramas on cable where the hacker has to shut down infrastructure, ship everything to China, and they spout out technobabble that means absolutely nothing. Yeah, that's how everybody talks in this game. Every time I hear Slappy talk about how
SV News Plaza is perfect for some Manny-heavy lines,
all I hear is Steve Buscemi going, "How do you do, fellow kids?" They all forcefully cram this outdated skater slang into every single sentence, and it sucks on two levels. One is that it's just annoying. It never sounds human. And two is that it homogenizes every single character in this game. All of these characters have no character. And this is where I'll get back to what I was saying in the intro. This, as well as every other issue I am going to mention, becomes an even larger problem, specifically because this is a skating game. In this case, the lack of compelling or charming characters becomes an even bigger problem, specifically because skating is such a personality-based sport. I mean, think about it. Since the 80s, skaters would gain notoriety by grabbing whatever camera they had access to, traveling around and finding spots to ride. And these videos would show off not only their abilities, but their unique styles and personalities.
And then I go see my mom, you know. I go, "Mom, check out my new style, my new fashion. I'm on the forefront of fashion." She's all, "What? Jeff, what are you doing?" I go, "Mom, I don't know, but I'm at the forefront of it."
Our favorite skaters are often just the ones we want to hang out with the most. And not only do I not want to hang out with any of these characters, I actively want them gone. But I think the character I'm most disappointed by isn't even a person or app.
Hi there.
It's actually the city of Vansterdam. Now, I think some people will disagree with me and say that they like this city. And I can see why. Because to its credit, the design of this city does offer unique skating experiences in nearly every corner. This city is actually quite small. You could probably get from one end to the other in just a couple minutes. And I really appreciate that. In the era of bigger is better, I am so glad that they went with a city design that is smaller but more densely packed. And Full Circle really has packed a lot into this map. Take the parking garage next to the abandoned church, for example. Every single level of it offers a unique skating challenge, and reaching the top greets you with a mega ramp off of the side of the building into the church. I can see the vision in creating what is essentially a skater's paradise. But the problem is, paradise is boring.
That's it.
I think the beautiful thing about skating is that the world wasn't designed with skaters in mind. A bike rack becomes a grind rail, a trash can becomes a ramp, and a staircase becomes the Lyon 25. And in that repurposing of the environment, there's friction, Whether that be cracks in the pavement, awkward corners, or police and people that just don't want you there. But here, that friction doesn't exist. I think it would have been fun to have pedestrians or police trying to stop you from skating in certain spots, but pedestrians are just fine with you kick-flipping off a ledge directly into their skull, and police, as far as I can tell, don't even exist. But more importantly is that every spot feels tailor-made for skateboarding. There are no potholes in the streets, no chunks taken out of ledges to further complicate grinds. Everything in Vansterdam is just so clean, so pleasant, so perfectly designed with skaters in mind. It's like a utopian paradise just for skaters. But that doesn't make it feel like a real lived-in city where skaters can find beauty and opportunity in overlooked corners. It just makes it feel like a playground made to look like a city. And the visuals definitely add to this playground feeling. I'm not going to harp on this too much, as I know this is an early access title and Full Circle are working to update the visuals. But as they stand now, I am not a fan of this art style. The graphics can feel pretty plastic, especially when it comes to the character design, and the world overall just lacks detail and can feel static because there's no day or night cycle or dynamic weather. But overall, I know that this aspect of the game hasn't bothered me as much as I know it has bothered other people. But the final problem that I have with this world is how you progress through it. Currently, the only way to progress in the game is by either completing the main missions, which really just serve as an extended tutorial, or by completing the different challenges scattered across the map. And as it is now, there are really only 5 types of challenges: session challenges, line challenges, own the spot challenges, stunt challenges, and throwdowns. And that's it. No death races, no contests. You can't play a game of skate in the game Skate. It's a very limited pool of missions at the moment, and the lack of challenges against NPCs can make each of these challenges feel really static and can get stale really fast. But the challenge that I really take issue with is the stunt challenge. Skateboarding is obviously a very dangerous sport, and that risk of injury is part of what makes skating so exciting. Watching a skater try over and over and over again to nail a trick is both inspiring and morbidly fascinating to witness. But here in Skate, bails and slams are so cartoonishly sanitized for one utterly insane reason: Impervatek. Impervatek is the in-game corporation responsible for the medical marvel, which basically makes it so that you cannot be injured. And that sucks. Like, in a game representing skateboarding, you know, the sport known for reveling in danger as well as its counterculture ethos, having the in-game skaters taking this miracle drug that eliminates the risk of injury feels so sanitized and corporate. And I can't talk about this game feeling corporate without also mentioning the in-game store. Of course, with Skate being a free-to-play game, there are microtransactions. And while this isn't the worst implementation of monetization I've seen in a free-to-play game, it definitely still sucks that all customization options are locked behind either microtransactions, loot boxes, or battle passes. And while the loot boxes are free, it can definitely be a grind trying to collect them all, especially if you're trying to get new ramps or rails. But the thing that really pisses me off about these loot boxes is that in order to open them, you have to first scroll all the way through the shop, which is just a really shitty way of trying to coerce players into buying these cosmetics. And of course, they did the thing where the currency you buy is never the exact price of what you wanted to get, incentivizing you to purchase more than what you initially wanted. And I'm especially worried about the greedier nature of the free-to-play model after this $55 billion leveraged buyout. Because after this deal, EA is now responsible for making up around $20 billion in debt. And of course, the best way EA knows how to earn profits is by pushing more and more insidious microtransactions. I'm honestly very worried about what this deal means for the state of EA's catalog in the future, especially Skate. But like I said in the intro, I'm still genuinely enjoying Skate. But how is that possible? With everything that I've just listed, how is it possible that I still enjoy this game? Well, it's simple, because actually skating feels so good. The skate games have always had my favorite control scheme in the genre. I think it's similar to Forza Horizon in that way, where it strikes this perfect balance between simulation and arcadey. You will no doubt have seen a plethora of absolutely gravity-defying tricks and outlandishly impossible jumps. But what's great is that there is still plenty of room for people like me who want to skate in a more realistic way. Or at least more realistic than this. I think the most impressive aspect of Skate's controls is that it can satisfy both fans of pro skater and session. I find myself often getting into a very cool flow state with Skate that has really got its hooks in me. While writing this review, I have Skate on in the background, just to jump back into every couple minutes, not for more footage or more notes, just to feel it. The Flick It system is my favorite skating control scheme. It has that easy to pick up but difficult to master quality to it. And aside from a couple strange sequences, they're all animated beautifully and flow into one another so well. It feels great, it looks great, and it sounds great. And the music selection also pleasantly surprised me. I wish I could play some of these songs for you, but I feel like that would probably cost me a pretty penny. However, what I can say is that while this is one of the more subjective aspects of this game, I personally found this music selection to be vast and varied, filled with songs that I already loved, like Driver, Fanny Dog, The Vulture, No Hands, and filled with songs that I hadn't heard of that I wound up loving, like Out of My Head, Lonsdale Slip-Ons, I Got Cracked, and Momentum. And this is for Full Circle directly. These are just a list of songs that I want to see in the future. Third Uncle, I Can't Party, Whistle, Shangri-La, and Dance in the Water. So if you could just get on that as soon as possible, please and thank you. Ultimately, there is something very enjoyable about hopping into this game, grabbing a song from the open world, and just messing around in San Van for a bit. I've seen a lot of people over the past few weeks completely dismissing this game for a variety of different reasons, many of which I have already talked about, but rarely have I seen somebody write this game off because of how it feels to skate. And that's the thing that makes this game so interesting for me to think about. So many aspects of this game are either undercooked or misguided, but that core gameplay is so compelling that I still ultimately enjoy my time. That loop of finding a particular spot and trying over and over again to nail a particular trick while hanging out with your friends and listening to some cool music, that is there, and that is fun. But between the progression, the writing, the world design, and the sanitization of this game, it can often be hard to find that fun. I hope that the developers of Full Circle stick with this game and treat it with love. I hope it sheds its corporate vibe. I hope it adds some dynamism to its world and challenges. And I hope it becomes a game that I can love, and not just a game that I want to love.